Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So this time we're going to make this, which is another thing with a file folder. So this is just a little wallety pocket thing. Okay, it's got a couple of little things in here. This is my prototype, so it's not perfect. So and little pockets either side, and then it's got a notebook inside. Which is also got some pockets in it, and there we go. So we're going to make that today. So what you'll need is a file folder or other cardboard. You know, I've shown you how to do things that don't have the pre-folded gussets in, but we're going to utilize the gusset that we already have, and we're going to take full advantage of that, and we're going to turn it into something of our dreams. So what we're going to first of all do is we're going to flip this crease back in on itself, unless of course you want plain on the outside. I don't. I quite like the text on the outside. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, we do that, and then we're going to take the next fold that's already in there, the expansion fold, and we're going to just flip that on itself. So it's never been in there before, so we've never used that fold. So just try and get the fold in first. I can't actually get the fold to go. Right, okay, let's put that fold back in then. So get a ruler. I did have a ruler a minute ago. Where on earth that gone? There. Right. So there's a crease here, but it's not actually working. So we're going to just put that back in. We just need to find it. So just the side that's easier to see. Right. Just a bit of score there. I'm going to use that to fold on, and then we're just going to do the same on the other side. So that fold is there. It hasn't ever. This file clearly didn't hold a lot of stuff on it. So in it. So I think that's where the other one is. I'm just going to use that. There we go. Fold on there. Okay, so if you were just using ordinary cards, you just score this yourself. So we're going to use the middle bit is going to stick up, and so it creates a fin on the inside. And I'm going to fold it back in on itself. So the spine is like a V shape. So you're going to have this V-shaped spine here, and that's what we want it to be. So we're not going to do anything fancy with that. We're literally going. This is not one of the ones like the one I made, not last video, the video before, where it comes out. This, you could make it like that, but we're not going to. We're going to make it so that it's just glued in. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just now this back spine seam. We're just going to glue that down to itself. Okay. So just put a bit of glue all over the edge of this fold. And then just pinch those two bits together. And kind of just keep it in place. I might just use a ruler to do that while I'm talking to you. So, as you can see, it's too deep. Well, you're going to make use of these for these bits. So these aren't extra bits that have been attached. These are just the leaves folded in on themselves. So let's just get that stuck down. There we go, that's stuck down now. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have these to fold in. So you just have to decide, just by curling it, how far in do I want them to come. Obviously you don't want them right up to the spine, because it'd be very difficult to get anything in the pocket. So I had them, if you look at this one, I had them so that they were about an inch away from the spine, which is about 2.5 centimeters. So if you just put your spine on one of the lines on your mat, and then just fold this in to the inch line, and you're just going to put a fold in there. Okay, and then you're just going to bone fold that. And then just, instead of making another one, just use that. Use a ruler. And I'm going to use the tip of a ball tool. and then we're just going to do the same again. We're going to just fold that bit in. So rather than having to measure it again this time, we're just using the symmetry of that one, and then we're going to fold that in. Okay. And as you can see here, I went for a diagonal line on this one. You could of course have it as a rounded, like so you could have it this kind of shape. You could do that, but again I'm going to do it with a rounded, with a diagonal line. And to get them equal, all I did was I folded them both over. Okay, so that's where we've got the spine is here. These are both now sticking out. I just got them to be the same. Sorry, I just had to turn my light. Got them to be about the same. They're squared off on this corner, and then I went from this fold, so this score line here, and down, and I just cut them both, and then that way then you'll get symmetry from it. I'm just going to cut them both together like this. There we go. Cool. And that means then when they fold in, they'll both be the same. Okay. So as you'll also see here, they have a little grill on them. You can even see the pencil lines where I marked this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same again. We're going to put those again, join them together. So might as well make them so that you get symmetry from it. Okay. And in order to do those lines, all I did was I just marked where I wanted them to start. So didn't want them to be too far down. And I used one of the grid lines on my mat to kind of say, right, I want the first one to be about there, so line that ruler up so it's pretty much where I want it to be, and then I'll just put a line in. Okay, you can rub this line out later, and then I just had them at 1/2 inch spacing. Again, line in there, and then I'm just doing a third one. You can see that line better than I can, but never mind. But you're not here to do it for me. Okay, so I've done those, and then all I did was I used the width of the ruler because I wanted to cheat, and I used that to be, that's how far away from that side. I think it's about 1 inch, the ruler that I'm using. I went that way, and then that way, and then all I did was I then made some holes here. Okay, so what I used was I used my Big Bite Reach thing, but you could also use one of these, which is going to do the same thing. So just you line it up with the where you want the hole to be, and you just press it down. So this is called an anywhere punch. There we go, there's one. Don't worry if it's not spot on accurate to where you wanted it to be. It's all gonna look just perfect. There we go, that's 2. And we're gonna do the same again. Get that on that line. Once you start it going, it stays where it is. You might just need to hold it with your finger to start with. 3. Sorry, that's not even 3, that's 4. Dave can't count. Line that up. Oh, didn't go all the way through this time. There we go. And then this final one here. And remember, because you've got them both lined up, they're on top of each other, you don't have to do this on either side. So then what I did was I took my little ruler, and I just used that to line the two up together, and then I just cut along the bottom bit, being careful not to overshoot that hole. And you've seen me do this before. Well, if you've been watching my videos, you'll see me do this before, and if you haven't, then this is a first, but I've done this before. And then we're going to line it up at the top of that circle, that hole that we've just cut, and just score across there, and that way then when they punch out, you get this kind of slot shape. You just have to be very careful when you're pulling down here. There is some resistance on the card, not to overshoot that bit, and then otherwise you'll have your line will travel past beyond the end of the hole, the edge of the hole even. Again, that one, and then we're going to do the final one. This time I'm going to treat you guys. I'm going to rub out my pencil lines. Such a treat for you. I just completely forgot to rub them out last time. Never mind. Doesn't worry me. You can tell I've been making prototypes. So I spend my Saturdays now making prototypes. So I work Monday to Friday. Friday evenings I have to myself. When I get home, then I go to Fat Club on a Saturday. Then when I get home, I go from there from 10 o'clock, quarter to 10 in the morning, through until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I go shopping. Then I come home. Then I spend the afternoon making prototypes and prepping, and then Sundays I spend filming. So it's a full-on busy thing, and it's a full-time job. And some crafters can do it as a full-time job because they earn a decent revenue, but I don't earn anything really from it, unless you buy digitals and stuff. I don't make any money. I'm not monetized or anything like that. I've thought about it, but it's just all another complicated thing that you need to know. So I haven't bothered so far. Like I say, I'm going to rub these out, so I'm just going to find my eraser. It's there. If I put it back in the place where it's supposed to be, I wouldn't need to look for it, would I do? Yeah, so I'm not monetized. So at the moment, I'm not in a position to do this full time. I haven't retired. At this rate, I'm never going to be able to afford to retire. So there we go. So you've got your two slots either side, and then all we're going to do now is we're just going to glue those down. Right, so when you're gluing them, because you want them to be a pocket that you tuck things in, you're just going to glue across your bottom edge. Okay, so don't glue this side, otherwise, well, you could then it would only be a top slot pocket, it wouldn't be a side slot pocket. So you're going to go across the bottom here and make sure you've got a decent amount of glue on there, and then just glue that down, and then just use something to weight it down, either your finger or whatever. I'm just trying to get on with the next side of it, so I'm just going to use that ruler and then kind of lean on it, and then I'm going to do the same on this side, just across the bottom. And put that bit in, and then just make sure it's level before you completely glue it down, so it doesn't protrude beyond the bottom edge. There we go. Like I say, you can just make sure that they're all in nicely, and that means they'll stay flat. Once you've shut it up, it'll be fine. Shut it up. And then all we're going to do is we're going to make the bits for the middle now. So I'm just going to use some paper that I have to hand. Before I used some thingy paper. What's it called? Ledger paper. This time I'm going to use some of this printer paper, old-fashioned style printer paper, and we're going to use some of this. And all we want to do is we want to see how big do we want this to be. So our paper needs to be roughly, because of the file that I've used, we need it to be roughly 4 inches by, don't want it to come all the way to the top and the bottom, so we're going to go 4 inches by 6.5. And then what you're going to need to do is, obviously, because you've got that as a double, you're going to need to either put a crease in for the spine first, or you're going to have to fold it over and make sure that you've got a crease in for the spine, or you're going to have to double this measurement. So this measurement where I said it was 4, you'd have to double that to being 8. Otherwise, you're not. Once you've folded it over, you're not going to have enough space. You could put them all in as single leaves. You know, that's fine. So we'll do it as. Right, I'm going to take the bottom edge off these. And of course I'm going to keep them because they're beautiful to stick back onto other things. And I'm going to leave the top edge on. Okay. So we want to make sure that whatever we're cutting, we utilise that edge. Okay, so I just said it was 6.5, didn't I? So top to bottom it's 6.5. So we're going to keep this bit. I'm going to cut the other bit off. 6.5 in there. Cut down, cut that bit off. Obviously going to keep this, and then we're going to go 8 because we want it to be 4 when it's folded. So there to there, nicely straightened up. There we go. Fine. And again, we're going to keep those pieces. So bring this back in. I'm going to fold this over. This might be too many sheets, but it's absolutely fine. So we're going to use 1, 2. Let's go 3, 4 of those. So if you look here, I've done it as 1. So that's 1, 2, and it's just 2 sheets. But this time I'm going to glue it as 4 sheets. Okay, and you'll see how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to have one of the lined one side, one of them the other side. That's not quite lined up, so I'll just do that again. Line up those 2 edges. Just re-put in that crease. There we go. That one equally is not lined up, so I'm going to do that again. That's those 2, so we're going to have 1 in there, 1 in there, and then the other one will do the other way around. So computer paper on the inside. Okay, and in order to make them, all we're going to do is we're going to glue down the middle here. Okay, just a very tiny bead of glue all the way down the spine. I'll pop that bit in there and just let that glue together. Put something heavy on it. Oh, it's kind of heavy. He ain't heavy, he's my ruler. And again, just a bead of glue down the spine of this one. Put that bit in there. And on this one, I created a pocket. So I literally had a longer piece of paper and created a pocket by folding it up and then just gluing it in. So you could do that, or you could then just create another pocket from a piece of scrap. So I'm going to use a piece of this, I don't know, maybe on this bit here. So I'm just going to line that kind of up. I'm going to put a line across here. Just want you to think about using scraps up in stuff, because we often do things like this where we cut a bit off and then we say we'll use that, and then you never see it again. Okay, so I'm going to show you that I do use my scraps now. I'm just going to cut just short of that pencil line actually. And then what I did to create that pocket, let's have that pocket on the outside, shall we? Yeah, I'll create the pocket on the outside and then you'll be able to see this better. So I'm going to create this pocket on the outside, and what I did to create the pocket and join it was I just used one of these staple-free staplers. Okay, so these fox you because you expect it to be that way around because you're used to using a stapler like this. But I use these at work, staple-free staplers, and literally you put it in and you squeeze it, and it crimps the bits together. What it does if you actually put the paper in properly, put them in. So you have to have them near the edge. You have to have where you're going to do it near the edge. Yeah, so it crimps it together, and then you just do more. And all I did to get the same spacing is I lined the edge of this up with the edge of that, and then I got the same spacing all the way down. I'll just go down to the bottom. It might overshoot the bottom edge, but it's fine. And then I'm going to do the same along the bottom edge. The only thing is you can't do it on this bit here, and that's the reason why on these I didn't do the middle. I didn't do it down the middle. But of course you could glue it instead. This is just another fun thing. Looks like it's been manufactured utilitarian style. Yeah, that, Dave. Utilitarian style. There we go. We've got like a little pocket now that's just kind of welded together. Okay, and we can put that in. That's the other one that's been glued down, so that's fine. So we will have these maybe like this. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this one to this side and this one to the other side. Obviously you need to make sure that the openings are on the outside. I'm just going to put a line of glue down this here. I'm going to place that so it's sort of in the middle of the equidistant from top and bottom. Fold that flap over and stick it down, and then take this one and do the same, and we're going to have this pocket on in the middle, so we'll probably just stick that pocket down. That down, and we're going to stick that into there. We're going to put that in, and then all we're going to do is we flip this one back, and you can line it up then with that one, and then you know they're both in the same place. There you go. So that's that. So it's made a little notebooky type thing. You know, you put in the middle of it whatever you like, whatever you want to put in the middle of it. Okay. And then all I did was I made, using some other bits of cardboard, I made some extra pieces to go inside the journal. So let's see what can we do. I want to use scraps. This is why I wanted to make this. So we want it to be, needs to come to about there. I'll cut that bit off. I'll have that. Might make something else. Maybe have a little notepad on this side. So that's, we go to about there. I'm going to cut that down to about there. Oh dear, this is when you make a mistake and you think, why on earth did I just use a nail score line, and you can't see it again, Dave. Because you like that, Dave, that's why. There you go, I can see it now. So about there. In fact, we could do the same thing with this, but we'll use it as a notebook style this time. Line that up. Oh, there we go. Line it up, Dave. Not make a hash of it, Dave. That's completely not folded on the right crease at all. There we go. That's better. Do do it like that, and we're going to use some of these pieces as notebook pages now. Line those up like that. Again, with a nice little guesstimation of where we're going. We're going to do it to about there, and we're going to come down to about here. Pop this into my trimmer. So this is the thing about utilitarianism in this style of journal. It's about being a bit free, not getting too het up about it being perfect. You definitely do not want it to look perfect. You want it to be a bit grungy, a bit not scruffy, but less perfect. Less perfect. It's a good way to describe it, Dave. Less perfect. You don't want it to be perfect, so less perfect. Words don't come easy to me, you know this. That song was sung for me. I think it's Leo Sayer that sang that. But they definitely don't come easy to me. Okay, so we're going to utilise this. Okay, and we're going to put how many pages? 1, 2. We'll put that one on the front. 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 5 pages. Let's go for that one. That one, that one, that one, and so then therefore we'll have 2 pages glued to the front part, and they're going to glue themselves, glued to each other. So line across the top, glue it to itself, and then we're going to glue these to each other. Well, I have ideas of gluing it. Oh, there you go. I thought it was going, no, I don't want to play, which they do sometimes. Pop that in there, glue that to itself. Just as that flipped up and moved, it's just put a little bit of glue on the back of that page, so I just need to get rid of that before it sticks to my mat or sticks to this when I put the pages in. Put that in there, put that on there. That's just secured it and anchored it in place. You could use a stapler and of course do this with the stapler, but I'm going to do it my way because Frank Sinatra said so. Put that on there. Do a bit more on this side. I did it my way. Put that on there. Line it up, flip that over, okay, and then we're gonna, that's come and glued from itself, and because I glued the wrong end, oh well. It all adds to the beauty of it, that's why, Dave, it all adds to the beauty. See, I told you I make mistakes and that it doesn't always go right. Sometimes it goes very wrong, as you can see. Just going to glue this gusset into itself. There we go. Well, should we put some rounded corners on the front part so you can see the front to the back? Let's do that. Have a shallower corner on that though. Pop that in. Snip. Pop that in. Snip. There we go. So that's your front and your back bits. We'll do something on here. We'll have pin some ephemera to it. I do have some somewhere. Yeah, buried. It's all buried under things. I've got ephemera buried, so these are just some of it's Etsy stuff and some of it is not Etsy stuff, some of it is AliExpress stuff. These are AliExpress. This is AliExpress. This is AliExpress. These are genuine pieces of ephemera. So these are old bus tickets that I bought from eBay. Should I have that, or should I just have that as a separate thing? I'll just do that as a separate thing. Let's put something on the front of here, by the way. Let's maybe put that on there. Move that down. We can stamp something on it in a minute. I could have stamped it before I stuck it down, but I'm doing it this way. I'm doing my Frank Sinatra again, my way. There you go, private and confidential. Couldn't have been a better choice, could it? There you go, private and confidential. Let's leave that to dry because that's a bit smudgy. Smudgeability. Let's round these corners as well. Cool, and we'll put, I don't know, maybe put this bit of this one. Maybe one of these. You can just rip that a bit so that it looks a little more authentic. So there we go. Won't use that on this one. Let's use one of these. So let's try and get this off. There we go, like that. So I'm going to ink it because I like it to look a bit more grungy than it does. We're going to ink it all up and get it looking nice and old. Don't have to do the bit where the staple was because it's picked up the rust from it being a real bit, but I'm just going to go over here. I know this is real ephemera and therefore it should look old enough already, but it doesn't for me. So, and then I'm going to use my tiny hole punch, and I'm just going to make it look like it's been checked with some dates. Where have we got? Oh, there we go. That's our dates. So we're going to up there, and then we are going to make it look like it's been checked or something. So driver's signed it or whatever. There we go. And we're going to attach that. We'll use a staple for that. We're going to ink this one. Right, get all the fibres on the edge of that rip. It might look a little bit like it's been burnt more than ripped, but that's fine. Rescued from a fire. And you know, it doesn't matter what you do on your ephemera inside. It doesn't have to look like the, you know, if you've called it receipts, it doesn't have to have receipts inside. If you called it, you know, notes, it doesn't have to have notes inside. It can be anything you like. You can just play, etc. Might put that the other way around. Let's put a vintage photo on the, hello. Let's put vintage photo on this one. There's speed inking going on here. That's great. That's that, and we can again deploy a pen, and we're going to put some information in there so it looks more authentic. You know, maybe my authentic. I'm just going to put a blob of ink on it as well. There we go. just dry that off. It's alcohol ink, so it'll dry really quickly. I'm just going to want it to get it to evaporate. It doesn't smell very nice, but and don't get it too hot, otherwise it could catch light. Just keep your fingers out of the way as well. Okay, that's that. Back up again. I've got a few ink blobs on it. I might no, I won't do it with that as well. So I'm going to put that in like this. I'm going to ink this up as well. Make this look a bit older than it does. So this isn't file folder, this is just a piece of green card, but I like the colour of it. It goes very well with file foldery stuff. And then I'm going to put some of this on the back. This is my grunge effect. There we go. Put that on there. I'm going to do those together. Make it look like they've been just collated. We'll staple it with. Should we do it with this one, or should we do it with the tiny one? Do it with the tiny one if I can find it. What's that? Let's do it with this tiny one. There we go. That's those. They can sit in there. And then we'll do another one for this side. Oh, let's put that in there as well. And then in this one, we'll put something else. We'll put another piece of card. He says, another piece of card. What's your orange card this time? I'll just make that, square that off at the bottom. Yeah, my desk is really starting to fill up now, I know. So that'll go in there, that's fine. Get rid of that. So we can have another couple of things stapled to this one. So we can have a pharmacy thing. We can have one of these. And we're going to have one of these tickets instead this time. Okay, with the one with the stripe down the side. Sorry, down the middle, not the side. Ink this because it's way too new looking. Don't mind it getting creased, it's fine. In fact, you can make an emphasis of those creases. Cool. There we go. And that's that. It's a bit big, so we'll go. Oh, it's got ripped. That's good because you can't see the totals. We'll stamp it with something. Well, nope, that's not that. There we go, a red one. There we go. Stamp it with that. Put some writing on it. Me pen. That. Okay, doesn't have to say anything, so make sure we've got the ink on the edges. Don't want it to look new. Put some on the back as well. Put that on there. Oh, we're going to have to ink this as well, aren't we? Let's go for a full-on dark. That's on the edge of this. Nice cringiness with this. I love the way that this on some of the colours, it really picks up the colour of that. Really makes it this really orange. That's what I like on this one. Okay, we can have that on there. We can have this. Let's go for, what's this one? Walnut stain. Mixing my inks. That's fine, it's mine. I can do what I like. Stack them. Get some more. Number 73 and date 14 11 23. There you go. Stick that on that. And we're gonna have. I like the bus tickets to be on the top. Have you noticed? Put down there. I'm not going to have holes in this one. I'm just going to make it. Just sign it. Do a child return and 5 pence. And signature. There we go. Put them on there. Again, staple them. We might use a big staple this time. Cool. Get that out of the way. Put that in the back. That's it. So that's that. Let's get some ink on the outside of this. Go a bit of darker colour this time. Down the spine. Have to be on the spine. That's where it would get inky. Well, inky, dirty. Dirty. All across the spine, down the edge, and at the top. A little bit of a smudge over as well. Nothing too obvious, just there we go. And then all I need to do is make this. So that was just made using a piece of spare card. I'll use this bit. I'm going to cut this down so it's the right shape. So just make sure that it's square is what I want it to be. So not square, so rectangular shape, but you know it's square. It's the sides are square. Shut up, Dave. Just shut up. 5 minutes. Give yourself a rest. Give yourself and everybody else a break. Okay, so I used this. Okay, and then I also used one of my little dies. We put that. I'm gonna put that on there. Let's just take that off so we can get it in the middle. Put that in the middle of there. Pop that on, and then we're gonna put this through my die cutter. Just check that it hasn't moved. I'm gonna do anything with it. Has it moved? It's slightly moved. There we go. On there. Stick that through. There we go. Oh, stuck to the I've done that before, you know. I've spent ages looking for where the thing has gone, and it's turned out that it hasn't actually. It's kind of still stuck to the plate, or it's flung over there, and I've not noticed. So there we go. Just peel that off gently so it doesn't pull the surface off. Okay. Well, the other thing that I did was I made a little tiny divot in the top, so it suggests that this bit can be changed. It is actually loose. You can push that bit out and change it. So I will do the same with. There you go. That's my little divot maker. So I just kind of eyeballed it for being in the middle. So, and you only want a tiny divot. You don't want a full half circle. There we go. And then I just inked this. With that one, I used a piece of blue card. I know it looks green, but it's because I'd inked it. I used a piece of blue card, and then I just went over with an ink pad. So I can do the same here. Let's use a green one. Let's see if we can find a darker green than that, Dave. Let's use the Forest Moss. And all I did was I just went over it like this. And just to give it like a mottley thing, you know, like you get like a mottled effect on officey stuff. Obviously you want to make sure that our edges are inked, because that looks authentic, like it's picked up the dirt. And then just ink that all the way around. Cool. And then all I did, the other thing I did, was I took a bit of a book page. So that is the that is just the page number, okay. But you could use like the title from the top of a page. So this is an origami book, and as long as it's not too close to the squirrel, yeah, we can use a squirrel bit, I think. I'm not going to be making a squirrel, so well, as far as I'm aware. What's this? Rat mask? No, bat mask. Penguin. No, none of them. We're going to use squirrel. Continued. See, I told you it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to make sense, to be fair, at the end of the day. So all I did was I just leveled it off, and then I took a pencil and I just drew around it. And I realised that if you just cut this, it would be way too big to go in, especially after you've put glue down it. But I'll show you what to do with that in a second. I just need to rub off that. I had a rub off that. Rubbed off the pencil where I overshot the line. Okay, so just going to cut this out, and I'll show you what I did with it then. So I cut short of the line first. And you don't see this, so it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have really straight lines. You don't have to have really wonky lines either. You don't have to have really straight lines. Okay, so, and then I flipped it over and I just put it on, and I said, okay, so what bits do I need to lose? I need to lose from about there, and then about there. Okay, and then I just cut those off. Oh, except for I've just cut my pencil line off as well, so never mind. And then we're going to put some glue on this. Let's just see if that will fit. If I put it in like that, it sits at the top. How much space have we got for glue? Squirrel continued. Might need to cut a little bit more off this side. Okay. Yeah, and then we're going to put glue around the edge. Pick that up. Pop that on the front. Like that, and then we're going to pop that in, but we might put some other information on there. We might leave it as squirrel continued. I'll see how I feel about it. Oh, I can't get it in now. Just a bit of manipulation is all you need. Okay. And if you do want to put any more information on it, you can just do that while it's in situ. So I think I'm going to stamp it with this, but I'm not going to stamp all of the letters on this time. I'm going to mask off something. Which one? I can't remember what number it is now. What number is it? It's that way up, Dave. We'll leave it. We'll have it. Get rid of those. yeah, we'll do 3209. Sorry, that just took way too long for me to actually do that, didn't it? Read that. Don't use your hands to do that. I'm just a mucky pup, so like I do. 3209. Mask that bit off so that it doesn't stamp. And we're just going to use the right way up, Dave. We're going to put it in on a wonk. Stamp it on there like that. There we go. Cool, brilliant, thanks, fantastic, marvelous, hurrah, all the other things. I love buying these things off eBay. I need to stop though. It's becoming an addiction. So I'm sure somebody thinks I'm running a business. So that stamps that I bought. I don't know where the other one is now. It's there. But I'm not. I don't have a business to run. I'm just if you need any stamps, if you not like need to pop round and you know use it for your business, then you can. Or you're free to use them. You're not taking them away, but you're free to use them. So. There we go. So we've made another little one of these. So let's just pop these things away for a bit of a better sense of like where on earth Dave actually is. And we've made that. So another nice little thing to do. Something a bit different, a bit interesting. I'm trying to give you guys some interesting things. So I do spend a lot of time doing a lot of research and a lot of time doing some prep and a lot of time not sleeping because I think, oh, I wonder if that actually works, and then I have to go and try it. So I won't bring you anything unless I've made it now. So I won't say to you this is something we're going to make this and not know whether it's done unless I've made it a million times before. So okay, so we've got those now. So put my pin back in me thing, and we're just going to have a look at them. So we'll look at the original one and the one that we've made together. So this is the original, the one, the prototype that I made. So it's just got the little bits inside. So we've made, and then it's got some pockets in it, and some pages, and another pocket, another thing in the back. And we've made it very similar, not the same, very similar. But we've done this time. We've got a little notebook. That's not been inked very well, Dave. It's not been inked at all. That's why, Dave. So let's get that inked. I can't leave it. It looks way too new for me. Might have to give it a bit of a scuff over with this. Perfect. That's great. So we've got this and this in the front, and then we've got this in the back, and we've got some pages here. We've got a pocket and some more pages, and there we go. That's it. So it's another one of those been made. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was something that you might consider making, and if you do, don't forget to give this a like, share it with your friends. This is sharing it with your friends, by the way. Liking, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon as well. The bell icon will tell you, will ask you what you want to see. Do you want to see all of the videos or selected few, whatever? But if you click all, then every time I upload something, you will get a notification that I have. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Dash of Dave. Remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you all in the next video. You all take care, folks. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.